So, welcome back to Built4us Podcast by construction workers for construction workers. So, today we have a special guest today, John Lillico, who's the health and safety manager of the fourth largest data center developer in the world. I think I've got that right. And he's come on today to tell us, he's come on today to tell us his story, which, let me tell you, I've heard half of it and it absolutely inspired me. And all I can take from all I can remember is he's gone from death's door, 2 weeks left to live, so to speak, and then he's brought himself back up. And today we're going to hear about how he's done that, what he does today, and ironically, it was around this time of year as well, so it's perfect. So, John, first of all, how are you? You good?
I'm good, mate. Good, all good. Thank you.
Good. Let's start off with just for the viewers to just get like a little bit of a background. Just tell me a little bit about you growing up.
Listen, I grew up as my father was a miner. My mother worked for the local authority, caring for older people. And my childhood, I had an elder sister, 5 years older. So my childhood was loving, caring. The general, hard working class family as we were. We didn't move, too often. We moved once, I think, as I was a child, into a colliery house, where back in the day, the lights outside was your time to come in, and the tea was on the table, as we call it up north, not dinner. Yeah. The tea was on the table when my father came in from work, and when he was in night shift, you had to be quiet. There was no TV. I remember, God, James, I can remember 3 channels on the TV when I was a child. Yeah, 3 channels. I remember Channel 4 being launched, and then I can also remember video recorders having to be rented from radio rentals, and if you wanted to call somebody, you had to find a telephone box, which was few and far between. There was no mobile phones, and it was just a great time to be alive. The 70s and 80s, and then the miners' strike hit, and it was a tough time for everybody. 84. My father didn't pick it, but he certainly didn't break the picket line. He just, it was a tough time. I remember one Christmas getting a hold all in a football. A cheap leather football off the Miners Association as a gift, because we had nothing. James. But what we did have was love. I came from a really good, loving family.
Yeah,
so
love that.
We were blessed in that way, matey. So yeah,
absolute love that. Very, very, very similar. Didn't have much, but loads of love in the family, and I think that's steady. And great happy times, really happy times, John. So, what did you do when you left school? What was your first job?
Well, believe it or not, I was a butcher. I worked for a company called Dewhurst, the butchers. It was a high street butcher. Yeah. All of my friends was on, if those who were old enough to remember, a YTS scheme, £29.50 per week. Can you imagine the kids of today are being told to go and work 40, 45 hours for £29.50 or the equivalent, they wouldn't just get out of bed. They wouldn't even look at you for that. So, and that paid £60 a week. So I thought, I had no interest in being a butcher. Of course I didn't. And I was driven by the fact that I was going to earn double the money to what my friends were going to earn. And I thought, wow, well, listen, let's give that a go. So I did that, and I did it for about a year and a half. And then there was a supermarket further up the high street called Safeway. I don't know if you remember it.
Oh, my days. I remember Safeway.
Yeah. And then it became a Presto's. And I went and did, I got offered a job there because it was more money, being a butcher again.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cheating as a butcher, that, because all of the meat was pre-packed at a slaughterhouse, meat and packing. So all I was doing was slicing meat, really. And I can remember one day lifting a liver out of the fridge and it was still warm. And I just thought, and that kind of set in. I thought, this is not for me. I'm an animal lover, right? I love animals. I would never hurt an animal. I even pick spiders up and throw them outside. I don't kill them or anything. I've even got a fly catcher, right? I don't kill flies. I put them in this fly catcher and I release them outside. Right? That's just how it is. So I got out of there, mate. And then I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I was jobbing about. I worked on a mushroom farm. I washed cars. I was an electrician's mate. And I think that's when I got into the construction side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the camaraderie in the lunchroom. It was the crack, mate, on site, and some of the pranks that I seen was, and it was, looking back now, it just wouldn't be tolerated. Some of the stuff,
no, not at all.
So listen, I jobbed in and out of stuff, and then there was an aluminium smelter up where I lived, and I'm from 17 miles north of Newcastle, so I'm from a town called Ashington originally.
Yeah.
And then just beside it was an aluminium smelter, and it was the place to be, James, for money, for wages. The conditions was horrific, as you can imagine. Making raw aluminium from all the materials. And anyway, I was fortunate enough to get a job there in 2000. And I was there for 12 years, and it closed. They just closed the plant. It just wasn't making any money or for whatever reason. And then everybody was given £5,000 to retrain. Now, all of the guys who I was working with is, I'm going to go work offshore. I was going to go work offshore. And I was thinking, there'll not be enough oil rigs in the North Sea for to fit everybody on who wants to leave this place. Because bear in mind, it employed a good number of people.
Yeah.
So when I was there was an accident, and I won't mention any names. But this guy's leg slipped into one of the cells of where it was the molten aluminium was. Now, this was 960 degrees. So his leg went into there and they rushed him off to hospital. And I was a union representative at the time.
Right.
And it was on my shift. So
you weren't health and safety at that time?
No, there was not such a thing. But
oh, right. Okay.
I wasn't even the risk assessment. So he ended up losing the bottom part of his leg, as you can imagine. When flesh hits that kind of heat, it's just going to melt away. And it kind of got us thinking, how could this have been avoided? Because that guy's, although he received a very, very handsome payout, but I think he would much prefer to have his leg. Yeah. So then I thought, right, this retraining, I'm going to go and have a look at some health and safety courses. I contacted a guy through the training provider, through the assistants that we had at work. And I thought, I'm going to do this NABOS General Certificate. And I hooked up with a local guy at training school, and did a 3 weeks intensive training course where I was in the classroom 10 hours a day for 3 weeks.
Right.
And passed it. But then it's like anything else. It's like when you want to go and work on an oil rig, the first question that a recruiter will ask you is, have you worked on an oil rig before? Well, no. Oh, well, I'm sorry. But then who was born on an oil rig, James? Nobody.
Of course, I don't get that.
You need the first opportunity. So, as it happens, life was spiraling out of control, but we'll come back to that anyway.
Okay. So how old were you around this time, John?
2000, so I was 2012. This is when I left Alcan and when it closed, so I'll have been 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is we're in 2012 now.
Yeah, work-wise, yes. We'll come back to the and this is kind of part of this links into what happened to me and how I got there.
Yep.
So that closed, and I had getting a few guys jobs in this Alcan. It was called Alcan at the time. And I reached out to them and said, listen, can you help us out here? I'm kind of skint. Things is falling apart. Can you get us a job? No, mate. Sorry. And I was annoyed at that. I had put myself out for 2 or 3 other people in
the of course.
They kind of turned their back on me. So I put a post on Facebook, just a bit of a rant, maybe, probably in one of my drunken spells, And a guy who drank in my local bar, seen it and said, listen, why don't you send us your CV and come up to the Shetlands. The Shetlands, I thought, never even heard of the place. Where's that?
That's miles away. That's at the top of Scotland, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
like...
it used to belong to Norway. That's how far away it is.
Right.
So anyway, I went up there, did that, got the job, got into health and safety that way, and just looked after a company just signing permits on a night shift. Really, that was me first leg into health and safety. And then spiral from there. We had hired a company on there to do some work for it. So when my contract was up with this company in the Shetlands, I went to them and said, look, I won't be dealing with you anymore, but this guy will. And they offered me a job to stay up there with them.
Right.
Wasn't as much money, but you know what? I was in a happy place. I was dealing with the addiction. And it worked for me, that seclusion up there.
So you've just said then, going on your addiction, how were you sort of, I'm presuming it's drinking drugs?
Yes.
So how were you managing that and working? So would you say you were functioning? No problem.
Well, no, because prior to me going to the Shetlands, this is why I went to the Shetlands, and part of the reason why I was struggling is I was the other side of the addiction then, James.
Right.
So if you want us to go back, the 2012 when our can closed, right? Everybody, this was the be all and all of everybody's kind of work life, and it was good money, it was continental shifts, blah 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 blah. So when I left, I had nothing. It was like I read a book many years ago called "Who Moved My Cheese" by I forget who wrote it, but it's about two mice. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's only 35 pages long.
I've seen it. I've never read it.
And it's about two mice who go to the same place every day for cheese, yeah, because they're getting fed to it. And then when somebody moves that cheese, yeah, one mice just gives up, and mice goes looking for new cheese.
Yeah.
I was the one that kind of didn't give up, but was lost because Alcan had closed, so somebody had moved my cheese.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and then I started a business. I met a guy at Holder previous to this, and I started a business recycling UPVC windows.
Right.
The frames, because there's a market for that.
Yeah.
And I started with no experience, no money, just on a whim. And I was struggling. I was working all the hours God sends for no money. And then I started drinking.
Right.
This is when I started drinking.
So was this in like 2010 or earlier?
This was 2012.
Right, yes, okay.
Yeah. No, previous to that, I was one of these people who will have a drink at the weekends sometimes, but not all the time, because I worked on the door up until 2000. From 1990 up to 2000, I was a doorman, so I didn't drink.
You were a doorman?
Yeah, in Newcastle.
So you were drinking and using then as a doorman, were you?
Well, not really. I would drink after work, but I wasn't really using
heavy.
I wasn't using cocaine at the time. I was just a casual drink. I like just one of the lads, mate, just having a drink.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, and then I discovered wine sitting in the house with my wife at the time, my first wife, and again, never really thought it had a hold of me. That I can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But then it was becoming every day that I was off, I would have a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. Yeah. And then, but, me in-laws would come over on a Thursday night and we would have a bottle of wine, share 2 or 3 bottles of wine, and it was okay, and it just kind of spiraled. So 2012.
Easily done.
Absolutely, mate, yeah. And then 2012, this aluminium smelter closed, and then the business I started kind of just was getting difficult to manage. So I started drinking a bit more heavily. I would come home and I wasn't bringing any money in. I would argue with my first wife, and then, it was difficult. The pressure was there. So I'd just drink some more, but then I'd get some cocaine. Then I'll drink some more. But I didn't have any money for this, James.
Yeah.
Didn't have any money, so I was borrowing the cocaine off a dealer to and with no intentions of paying them back.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So I was getting deeper and deeper into debt, drinking more and more. I had a few quid just for to buy a cheap bottle of wine, £4 or £5, right?
Yeah.
Then my wife decided that was enough, up and she left, right? And I never seen that coming, to be fair, mate. I never seen it.
You did see it coming?
No, I didn't.
Didn't see it coming?
No, I never. And we've got a son. We had a son. He was born in 2004, so he was probably 8 or 9 years old. Yeah. And he was my world, you know. Everything I did was for him. He was an IVF child.
Right.
So, even more of a gift from God, and took 7 years in the making. So off she trotted, matey, off she left. And that was it. That was when the spiral started. I wanted to blank it. I wanted to just blank everything out. I just thought, nah, I can't deal with this. I'd lost my job, good money, lost my stability, started a business that was going nowhere.
Yeah.
Couldn't even find the lads' wages. I had 5 or 6 lads working for us, struggling to find their wages. Had 2 beautiful border terriers, Tango and Cash, one of my favourite films, right?
Great film.
They were me kind of, so they became me kind of comfort, like, sit and talk. I kept the house, although wasn't paying the mortgage. So just falling deeper into debt, falling deeper into alcohol addiction, and snorting cocaine every day that I wasn't paying for.
Yeah.
Right. And then she left, so I ended up drinking to sleep. I was thinking, if I have this, I'll sleep, and then when I wake up, I'll drink some more and I'll sleep, and then hopefully this is all just a nightmare, and I can wake up and come out the other end, and it'll all be okay. Maybe she'll come back.
When she left, when she said, I'm done, and because you were drinking and using, when she said, I'm done, that I'm presuming that wasn't the wake-up call you needed to stop.
No.
No,
it was the catalyst of the spiral.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that kind of tipped us over the edge. That was the step too far. Couldn't deal with that as well as deal with the the loss of me work. The business that I started was growing, but I just didn't know how to manage it. I wasn't a businessman. I hadn't got a clue. Of course. Yeah, I had a great idea, and it was a great idea, but I just couldn't. I didn't know how to do it. So
tell me then, John. Sorry, just tell me what was the pinnacle for you? The point in your life when you said to yourself, "I'm done." I'm point. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with drinking and stiffy. I'm done. I need to get help. What was that point? Or when was that point?
Well, it was the fact that it ended up I was drinking 7 bottles of wine a day, James. Yeah. Over a 24 hours, I would go to bed. Normal people go to bed with a bottle of water, right? I was going to bed with a bottle of dry white wine. Yeah. And this went on for a number, and this, bear in mind, this was within 9 weeks.
Wow.
It was from casual drinking to be given 2 weeks to live within 9 or 10 weeks. Yeah.
So the doctor, so was it a doctor actually said, listen, if you carry on, you've got 2 weeks to live?
Well, yeah, I ended up in hospital because I wasn't eating. I was just drinking and snorting cocaine. So I was obviously malnourished. I lost about 3.5 stone in weight very, very quickly. And then I went to hospital, and you could see I was turning yellow, and he said, listen, you've got to,
wow.
you need to stop this. You need to stop this. And I thought I was invincible, James,
Yeah.
I'm the ex-dome and this, that, I'm from the northeast. Things that don't bother me. I just went, again, mentally, I was in a wrong place I wasn't mentally ready for to stop. So off I went back home, another bottle of wine, another stack of cocaine. And then my skin started to burn. I don't know if anybody, who can relate to that.
Never heard. No, I've never.
Yeah, my skin was burning, and I'm not sure what was happening, right? And I was shaking uncontrollably. So I would have to have a bottle of wine first thing in the morning just to stop the shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was getting letters through the door from the bank, the mortgage company. This wasn't paid, and on and on and on. It went on and on and on, and I was into a hole so deep I couldn't see the light on the way out. But I never once, James, contemplated committing suicide.
Yeah.
That never crossed my mind. That wasn't in my thought process.
That's a blessing, I'd say.
Yeah.
Absolute blessing.
I wasn't drinking to kill myself, although I was. Inadvertently, I was, yeah. But I was drinking to block out the pain that I was suffering, Yeah. Look, was it PTSD? I don't know. Because of the job where I've been going there for 12 years every day, and suddenly it's not there anymore. And then my wife, well, had been married 12 years.
Yeah.
So, and she had gone, took my son with her, who I had fought, we had, tried so hard to have, and we had eventually got what we wanted. Beautiful house, 2 dogs, just, what seemed to be a perfect life. We were a well-known couple in the area, It was, we had a lot of friends and stuff like that. So I thought we did. But you find out,
Yeah, definitely. You definitely do. And then all that was sort of...
And I went, Mary, and then I think I was in the hospital 2 or 3 times, just collapsed, and in pain and hurting and, mentally unwell. And my poor father lived about 4 or 5 miles away. He and I would be ringing him in the middle of the night, ringing his sister in the middle of the night, crying and, this is not, but I was imagining things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
it's awful when that happens.
I was getting some phone calls off the guy I owed money to for the drugs.
Yeah.
Who was an unsavoury character to start with. Yeah. And pressure coming from there as well. And then pressure from the banks for the mortgage. So I just kept doing what I was doing and thinking it would all go away. Not even thinking for one single minute what I was putting my parents through. My dad lost my dad, diabetic, running back and forward for me begging him to buy me a bottle of wine, crying.
Yeah.
And he was doing it to, because he could see that it was helping. Like it would keep us calmer.
Yeah.
And then again, I went into the hospital and then I was in there, I think for the last time, maybe. And then the doctor came in and he went, "Look, John, this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've spoken to you now. We've had a look at you. Yeah, I'm going to give you at the most 2 weeks to live."
Wow.
And that was something I wasn't expecting. That was just on top of everything else that I was going through. I was thinking, oh my Lord, what on earth is going on here? And obviously my parents is crying. My sister was there crying. I was trying mediation with my wife at the time.
Yeah.
That wasn't going well. Just everything seemed to just be compounded. So I said, right, okay, put me in touch with somebody. But as you know, alcohol, you can't just stop. You've got to wean yourself off it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just stopped the cocaine, James.
Just stopped it?
I stopped it, but because I couldn't get any more.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
The line of debt was closed, which was a good thing. But bearing in this time, it was up to £9,000. Yeah.
You paid that?
I have, mate, yeah.
Is that all been paid years ago?
Yeah, it had to be. But we'll get to that anyway.
Well, because if it weren't, you wouldn't be here.
Well, exactly.
You wouldn't be here.
Exactly. So, I said, right, okay, I'll seek help. And the £9,000 worth of debt was in 9 weeks. So that tells you how much cocaine I was doing, yeah?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And I went to see a local guy. I forget his name, but he was great. He was an ex-alcoholic himself.
Yep.
And he just said, John, and this word sticks with me now, and I use this word in my daily work, right? the word he mentioned to me was temporary. And he went, John, what you're going through now is only temporary. Everything is only temporary.
Love that.
And when I think about it, what a great word. Well, because that one word, and I took that away and I thought, right, okay, he's given me a light there now that I can see at the end of this tunnel.
Mate, I'm getting emotional when you just said that then. That's mega.
Yeah.
And so true.
Absolutely.
So true.
And this is what I tell people now, and I do reach out to people who I see struggling. I see, you see these posts on Facebook, don't you? And the cries for help. Cries for, let's face it, we can see it.
Yeah,
the cries for help. And I reach out to people who I know, and I'll just go, listen, give us a shout, give us a ring. But what you're going through now is only temporary. Tomorrow's another day, yeah. And I might not feel like that, but tomorrow and then the day after is a day closer to this being only temporary. Yeah. To the end.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what happened there. And then
as I was now, if you can, talk to me about how you sort your recovery journey. Let's talk now about building your life back up to this amazing. I've come to know you this year for the last only 6 months.
Yeah.
And you are, and I know what you're gonna say. I'm just me, James. I'm just me. I know you're just you, John, but you are absolutely incredible. So I want the viewers now to see how incredible you are, and tell them that you see what you're doing now with your story, John, is people watching this right now are going, but I can't do that, and you're gonna share now how you've done it and what you do to get in the amazing position you're in today. Physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially, so we say.
Yeah. Well, going back to the Shetlands, this for me. I think everything happens for a reason, James. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, it's fate. I'm a huge believer in fate. Yeah.
We spoke about that everything happens for a reason. We speak about that.
Absolutely. And then, so as I was coming through, as I was battling the addiction, I was obviously still drinking because I was having to wean myself off. Slowly but surely. I was on these tablets I think they were called acamprosate. Yeah. Now, these tablets trick your brain into not craving the alcohol.
Right.
Yeah. So I had getting these, and I put that post on Facebook about being disappointed and being people who had helped previously in the former life and for getting work, and I couldn't get in. And this guy reached out. I won't mention his name. Said, I can help you out. Come and give us. And this guy he wasn't he was a friend, but I didn't have his number in his book. He wasn't somebody I would ring up, he was just a guy in the bar. It was a close-knit bar back in the day, ran by a very good friend of mine who actually was my best man at my first wedding. Come up to the Shetlands. So I went up to the Shetlands, and I was doing a night shift there. And obviously it was a gas plant, so there was absolutely no drinking drugs because you were randomly drug tested, randomly alcohol tested, which was a blessing for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I was earning, James, 2012, 13, 12 grand a month. So I went from having nothing, right? Nothing, and owing about £60,000 on the mortgage, right? In debt. How the house didn't get taken off us, I don't know. To earning this money, right? Limited. I worked for me. It was a limited company, right? But it was just me, just going to work, earning money, and then I employed an accountant, did everything by the book, and I just locked myself away. And I thought I can do this. I seen an opportunity. It was an opportunity that I seen, and I thought, right, there's only me can fuck this up.
Yeah.
And or there's only me can make this better and grasp this opportunity
for
what it is. Yeah. And it was only a 6-month gig. That's all it ever was. Yeah. So I just got my head down there, and these tablets were a godsend. And I was struggling because, although the tablets work, you still that inkling, there's still that. I have an addictive personality. Yeah. If I find something I like it, whether it be chocolate, whether it be cake, whether that be cocaine or alcohol at the time, I was at the gym. So I just kept on doing what I was doing, and I would come home every 12 days. Bear in mind, sorry, I forgot to tell you, I had lost my license during this time.
Right.
Because I was for drink driving. Yeah.
Yep.
I had kind of started seeing this girl, and we had fell out, and I had some wine at her house, and I drove home. I was that drunk, James, when I drove home. I hit a curb in the car, and I knocked the tyre off the wheel, right? And I didn't know, and I was driving home, and there was a fire engine behind us. Obviously rang the police, because the back wheel was obviously sparking and on fire, and I didn't have a clue I was that drunk, okay?
Oh, my days.
Which, listen, that's absolutely nothing to be proud of at all. I could have killed someone.
Not at all, no, not at all.
You know what I mean? And I was mortified by that, right? Mortified by that. So, you know, I got myself kind of on my feet financially a little bit. I was paying the mortgage back off.
Yeah.
I was kind of, things weren't great with my ex-wife. She had us up in court and, you know, X, Y, and Z. But, you know, that's kind of stuff I don't want to divulge. And then I kind of, when I was coming home, obviously I was paying for the maintenance, and I was getting access to my son, which was great, but I couldn't drive. So I was trying to do everything via the bus, which is, you know, I'm not really a social person when it comes to public.
It's not ideal, is it, John? It's not ideal.
No, not when you're trying to like build relationships, because, you know, my son didn't want to see me drunk, and, you know, the police at my door and this, that, you know, and this is what he had seen, because, you know, this, that, you know, and fallout with, you know, marriage was never, the divorce was never amicable. It was not, I didn't want, you know, she wanted it, I didn't. And it always gets nasty. It always gets nasty. It doesn't matter how many people think, oh, no, we're going to do this amicably. It wasn't like that. So I got my head down up in the Shetlands, earned a bit of cash, started paying the debt off. And like I say, I was a 6-month gig, so I was thinking, right, what am I going to do now? But I've got my foot in the door now with health and safety, right? I've got something on my CV. And this project up in the Shetlands was a £3.5 billion project. Wow. For Total, the French oil company. Company. So it was a bit of a prestige project that I could have on my CV. And like anything else, right, it's word of mouth. You know people, you know, there's that many people on site. You meet, you know, you go in, you're friendly type of guy, and you make friends, you make contacts, you make associates. Yeah. So I went into this office one day because this company was working for me, company called and they give us an opportunity, half the wages, right? But do you know what? It was still $6,000 a month more than what I would have been getting if I had went home. Yeah. Yeah. And it was still a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this is in like 2013, 2014 now. Yes. $6,000 a month then. So it's a lot of dough. Yeah. It's a lot of dough.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No, it's a lot of dough now per month.
Well, true, yeah. True. But you know what happens, the more you get, the more you spend. You know, you think you're a weekend millionaire when you go home and stuff, as you do.
Yeah. Get it.
So I was up there for another 2 years, just, you know, coming home every sort of 2 or 3 weeks for 4 days or 5 days. And I was just kind of slowly and surely building my life. I wasn't at the gym at that time, you know, kind of the facilities weren't up there, but...
Yeah, of course.
And I wasn't drinking. I got it myself into a bit of education. I was reading, and I was watching TV, or I was just, to be honest, there were long days, 12, 14-hour days, so most of my time off, or at night time, was spent sleeping.
Yeah.
It gets back to I lived on a cruise ship, believe it or not. They were used as accommodation vessels, yeah.
Really?
I lived on a cruise ship, along with about $500 or $600, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just used to get back to my room and just, you know, chill out, ring the girlfriend I had at the time, and ring me son if I was allowed to.
Yeah.
Depending on what situation I was in with my ex-wife. Ring my parents, you know, thanking them for the support and the showed, and you know, they stood by us, and they could see, you know, that wasn't really me. And then I made a contact, and then I got offered a job. I applied for a job and got offered the job in Sheffield. And I thought, right, okay, a little bit less money, but it was it was a salary job, so it was a permanent job, right? I thought, right, a little bit of stability, less money, but I just cut my cloth, yeah. Had squared my debts off by this time, okay, all of them. You know, repaid the bank and everything else. And, you know, I've had a couple of grand in savings, not a great deal, matey, but I was on the foot. I was in the black. And I could see that. I could see where I was going. I had in my head, I had a roadmap, right? I just stick with this. And it was all about the experience, you know, building relationships, building networks.
Yeah.
So I was in Sheffield for a good couple of years, 2017.
Yeah.
Went to Sweden. I got asked to go to Sweden just for a small 6 or 7 week job. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to jump at the chance. Never been to Sweden. I've only been to Europe on holiday, right?
Yeah.
As a child or when I was married. So I went to Sweden, just a complete eye-opener, just a different way of life, just different culture, just, you know, different food. But then I would have a drink, James.
Yeah.
But in the supermarket in Sweden, you can't buy alcohol that's above 3.5%. You've actually got to go to a state-owned off-license called a system Balaget. Yeah, so you have to drive these. Yeah, but I would only have a drink at a weekend, just like 2 or 3 cans. I thought, you know what, I'm going to just see where it is, see where it takes us. Because I kind of know I wanted to give up alcohol altogether. I just wanted to be able to control it. And I don't know why. Obviously, the tablets had finished long after that. And I went 3 or 4 years without drinking. And I just had a couple of cans one Sunday afternoon watching Newcastle. I think the Newcastle-Liverpool game, we probably got beat. We always do. And I thought, do you know what? And I just put it down. I had 2 cans, and I just put it down. And I woke up on the Monday fresh, and, you know, I thought, you know what, I enjoyed myself yesterday. And I was just there by myself. It wasn't a party. I was just there by myself. A couple of cans, you know, I might have had a bar of chocolate or a bag of crisps or something. I thought, that was all right. I can do this, you know. So, and then it didn't happen every weekend, you know. And then from there, I met me now wife.
Yeah, amazing.
On Tinder, believe it or not.
You're very honest.
And then, so we're trying to cement that relationship, and I thought, right, okay, working away isn't the greatest way to do this in a new relationship.
Sorry to interrupt. What year, just for the viewer, what year were we around here now, John?
2017, 2018.
Okay. So you're working with it, yeah, okay.
So she came over to Sweden to see us, you know, and I thought, this could work, you know, this is good. So I ended up getting a job back home in a local pharmaceutical plant as health and safety again.
Yeah.
Just as a contractor. And I thought, right, let's put some kind of roots down with this wonderful woman who's now my wife. So we did that, and I was here a year, and then out of the blue, I got a telephone call off a guy who actually got us the job in the pharmaceutical factory, a recruiter, asking if I was interested in going to Amsterdam. No, I had never been to Amsterdam, heard all the stories, knew what it was about.
Yeah.
But the smoking of the hashish or whatever it is, I've never even tried cigarettes, so that didn't bother me. I knew that wouldn't be an issue. That's not something I was interested in. So I thought, you know, I came home, spoke to Claire, my wife, girlfriend at the time, and said, you know, what do you think about this? It was 10 days on and 4 days off, so I was home every second weekend.
Yeah.
And the offer was 90 grand a year. Right. And I was thinking, all right, okay, this will work. You know, Claire could come out and see us if she wanted to. And I ended up in a little town outside of Amsterdam called Hoorn. It was absolutely beautiful. It's like gorgeous, a bit like York, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
But there was a huge expat community of people like me building data centers out there for 2 or 3 different companies.
Right.
And there was a one pub called the Barrels, and everybody sort of came into that bar. That was the go-to place, and it was about 30 seconds from my apartment.
Right.
And I went in once, and I just thought, this is not for me. I work with these people, and not with all of them because they were from different sites, but
yeah.
And sometimes in health and safety, you've got to be the bad guy. Yeah, you've got to be the guy who makes the unpopular decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Work, right. and for whatever reason, something just inside of us wasn't there. It just wasn't there. The fancy for having a drink and every night after work, and getting up and kind of having a bit of a foggy head, and wasn't for me. I thought, it's just so. I just kind of stopped. I just didn't go. So I stopped drinking again for a while. Maybe I would have the odd bottle of wine in the house, in the apartment.
Did it get bad for you again? Is that why you stopped, or was it just a thing? So it never got to a point where you got, right, it's getting a bit regular this now. You just
not at that time it didn't. No, not at that time it didn't. No. And then from there I went to Dublin for the same company. Yeah. Got a little bit more money, but then went to live in Dublin for 7 or 8 months, 9 months possibly. And then out of the blue, just got a phone call off the company I work for now to say, there's a brilliant opportunity here for mega crazy money. Yeah, crazy money.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it. Again, I didn't drink in Ireland. If anywhere in Dublin, there's the party place.
That's the place that you do.
Just wasn't interested. I lived outside of Dublin. I put myself out of harm's way. I didn't want to live in the city centre. I had an apartment just in a small town called Lucan. It's lovely. Again, I would come in from work, just cook some food. Still wasn't into the gym back then. I had trained previously in me 40.
Yeah.
I just let that lapse, I just sunk myself into the TV and box sets and education, and I thought, right, I'm going to get myself a degree. Yeah, so contacted me training provider again, and great guy. And said, listen, can I do an online degree in health and safety? Yeah. So I just educated myself on me, my nights.
Yeah.
Spent, instead of drinking and partying and socialising, I just educated myself, and then kind of this job came about where I'm at now, and it was just incredible. It was just a stroke of luck, right time, right place. I don't know. Maybe it's
Mate, listen, we've already spoke. Everything happens for a reason. We've spoken.
Yeah.
Right place, right time.
And then, this job meant, I was traveling kind of every week. I had 8 projects to look after. I've been with this company nearly 4 years now. So back in 2021.
Yeah.
Got married to my Tinder girl. and that was it. Then I started drinking again. And I don't know why. First thing I would do was go and buy a bottle of gin at the airport, duty free, 10 quid, get in. And then go to the hotel and buy, go to the finest supermarket, buy some tonic or some bitter lemon.
Yeah.
And then I would have that bottle of gin drunk in 4 days. And I was thinking, why? Sitting in and I think it was boredom.
Yeah.
I was sitting in a hotel room, I didn't have a Fire Stick at the time, and watch German, French, or Spanish TV or Italian TV or what, I didn't understand. So I was just sitting, and I was thinking, I was just trying to find my feet. Was I a fish out of water here? Because this was a big opportunity in our client side, big multi-billion-dollar company, a lot of responsibility, the head of Europe, 8 projects, or, things. People's going to look at me now and think, you must know everything. You must understand that. And I didn't.
Yeah.
And this went on for a good number of months. Then I got married, and I ballooned up to about 19.5 stone. Yeah. And I was walking up a scaffold one day, and I was so out of breath. And I was forgetting things as well. I was just wasn't remembering. I wasn't remembering.
Because of the drink?
Yeah. And obviously, I hadn't touched drugs since 2012.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I could feel myself falling back, but I was making poor food choices as well.
Oh, yeah.
Uber Eats, company credit card, yeah. So,
Yeah, all comes in. It's part of it all, isn't it?
Chocolate, crisps, Uber Eats, fried chicken, this, and oh, man. So, looking back, I was probably killing myself again, inadvertently.
Yeah, of course.
So
can I ask? Go on, sorry. So, go on, sorry.
So something just clicked, James, and I thought, this has to stop. This has to stop. And I said to Claire, I'm going to stop drinking through the week. And I'm going to get onto a healthy regime. And I'm only talking 10 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So
my next question was going to be, and I think you just sort of answered it, is I was going to say, do you drink now in like the last, so is it in your sort of lifestyle that you will have a drink or not at all, or do you have one now and then?
I'll have one at the weekend. I'll have one on a Friday and one on a Saturday if I'm in the house.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I do get invited out to a lot of functions.
Yeah.
You know, as you well know, because you know, the kind of role I'm in now, it comes as part of the course. But I just drink alcohol free now. If I drink at all, I'll have water or Coke Zero. Or I'll have, you know, I don't participate in alcohol. And to be honest, I find myself taking myself out of the situation. I make excuses not to go.
Love that.
Right? Or I leave at 9 o'clock because I can't tolerate drunks.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I get it.
Even though I was probably the worst one, you know, I was never violent or, you know, anything like that. But I was just constantly drunk, you know, back in the day. But just, I can see it. I can see when the noise level rises and then the antics start, and I just think, But you know what? My biggest fear is, James.
Go on.
The hangover.
Ugh.
I feel anxious. I think people say, oh, you know, there's a thing called FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yep.
I think I've got a fear of missing out on a hangover because I don't want it. Yeah.
I've got friends that are don't have drinking problems or anything, and they drink. They'll go out on a function on a Saturday night once a month, and they'll phone me on like a Monday, Tuesday. We'll have a chat, and they'll go, I don't know why I do it. I do it because I don't do it very often, but when I do, 3, 4, 5 days are written off after that. He eats rubbish. I mean, he trains really well, this lad. He eats rubbish. He doesn't train. He's all befogged. And it's like, so it's not just for people like myself who is a alcoholic addict, I'll say me. Normal people suffer with the hangovers and stuff where they think, fuck. I think it comes with age, John.
Yeah, I mean,
with age.
Again, I've just turned 53 there on Saturday, and so I think a lot of it comes down to common sense. But
I think you're right. And one thing I just picked up for the viewers, and obviously put it in the comments if you agree with me. What I feel your saving grace was from 2012. You've realised you've got the problem. You've had to. You're going to die in 2 weeks if you don't. And you've sort of gathered a tiny bit of hope and momentum after that chat with that guy.
Yeah.
And then you've gone right, and you've been given an opportunity. You've thrown yourself into work, and you've embraced it and grabbed it with both hands and turned it into a positive habit. And then through your learning, you've gone, right, I'm doing my work. I'm working away, head down. Nothing else matters. Focus on that. And then you're doing extra curriculum. You're learning even more. So that from your story, I can take that you've actually just gone, right, you've turned your negative into a massive positive. Excuse me. And it's actually got you where you are today into this amazing position.
Yeah, do you know what? But I enjoyed my work. That's the thing, right? I had went through, you know, my adolescent years and so on, right? Not enjoying work, thinking, oh, is this it for the next 50 years? I hate this. This is shit. And I found a vocation in life, right? Which every day was different, right? And it could turn on its head within a minute, because you can't legislate for somebody doing something stupid. And listen, in construction, right, that will happen.
Of course.
Absolutely. Somebody will find a way to take a shortcut, which will ultimately lead to an accident. Yeah, or a near miss, and it's human nature, James. You know, I've seen the picture. There's a pathway around a square of grass, and if you look across the corner, the grass is missing because people have cut the corner, and that's health and safety.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that's what people do. Let's finish on. I want to finish on this, and it's you've now got an amazing job. How did changing your lifestyle make that possible? Now, and this is most important, and what would you say to someone who feels stuck or written off?
I think for me, what changed my life was the opportunity I was given, and I could see that, yeah. But you've got to want that. You've got to want. I never wanted to commit suicide. I never. That was never in my train of thought. It was never in my head. I wanted to get better, and I think that's the first step. You've got to admit, yeah, I knew I had a problem, yeah.
Yep.
But I didn't know where to turn until I was given the right opportunity.
Correct.
And speaking to the right people, like yourself, right, and other people that's out there, right. That I was given that opportunity. Back in 2012, it's 13 years ago, right. Still in its infancy, it wasn't recognised, but
yeah.
This guy spent his time, in that word, temporary, stuck
temporary,
ever.
I think that's going to be the word of this podcast.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going through, it's temporary. Somebody said to me, James, this problem that you're talking about now, will it be a problem in 6 months? And I go, no, it won't actually. You go, right, forget about it then. If it's not going to be a problem in a few months' time, why are you consuming your life with it now? Doesn't matter. And that's what you've just said.
Yeah, and so I could see a way out, right? And I thought, I deserve better. I deserve to give the people around us a better version of me. I knew what was there. Yeah, this wasn't me. This wasn't me at all. Yeah, and I thought, right, okay, I had a new start. I was given opportunity after opportunity with work, and I was given a great opportunity with my new wife. I didn't want to blow it, although I didn't intentionally blow the first one. I did, and I didn't want to relive that. I wanted, I had a son, a dependent, and I wanted to make him proud. That was it. He's is just the be all and end all of everything I do. Yeah. So looking back, everything for a reason. The episode that I had shaped my future. I turned the negative into the positive.
Yep.
And I'm still working towards being a better version of myself tomorrow than what I was today. So,
amazing.
And I'm not finished. I ain't finished. I want more.
No?
I want more of the good life because I feel I'm at the gym. I'm in the gym in the mornings, in the hotels. I book hotels specifically for the gym now. Yeah, when I'm away. I travel every week for work. I'm at the gym, at home at the weekends. Yeah, I'm eating healthy. I've lost 3 stone in weight. I've stopped drinking through the week. I have one on a Friday, one on a Saturday. Maybe one on a Sunday. Depends how well Newcastle played. Of
course. I knew you were going to say that.
That's it. But you've got to want that for yourself, James. You can only help people who want to be helped, and I wanted to be helped.
Yeah, love that, John. Oh my days, it's been incredible. I can't thank you enough for giving us your time and coming on to share your story. It's bound to help. People are going to be helped by your story there and giving us your time, and myself and the Built4us team, just thank you so much. So we end there. That was episode 13, Built4us, by construction workers, for construction workers. That was an amazing episode. If any of these subjects have touched you, put it in the comments. One of our guys who we think will most benefit you will get in touch. That's what we're here for. It's all about helping. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for viewing this episode. We really appreciate your support. Remember, follow us, subscribe, share with a mate, join us live. Built4us. Let's build something stronger together.